Have you ever heard them say if since we've been sitting here for I don't know how long? Because honestly, if they would continue to say if or Hunter and we were playing a drinking game, I would be drunk by now.
Ms. Crockett.
I'm just curious, just to better understand your ruling. If someone on this committee then starts talking about somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body, that would not be engaging in personalities, correct?
A what now?
Chairman.
And it also sounds like you have to know something about math. My colleague brought that up as well. It sounds like you need to be at least somewhat decent at counting to be with IRS. Yes?
Yes.
You'd agree? Okay.
I agree.
Because right now what they're doing is they're peddling Russian lies. Basically, the Republicans have become synonymous for Russians at this point.
Well, you should ask O'Connor about my credibility.
A question. Okay?
You are?
When I haven't. So when I ask you a question, that's when you answer. Otherwise, I'm talking. So,
Excuse me?
with my time, because it's my time.
Is that a question?
It's not a question.
Okay.
You'll know when I ask you a question, I promise.
I'm
I'm trying to get
Okay.
clarification.
Look at, calm down. Calm down.
No, because this
I
is
would
what
like
y'all
to
do.
begin proceedings.
So I'm trying
Hey,
to get
Ms.
clarification.
Crockett, you're not recognized. Ms.
I hear
Crockett.
you with your yelling. Calm down.
No,
Can you please calm
don't
down?
tell me to calm down.
Calm down.
Because y'all talk
Calm
noise,
down.
and then you
You're
can't
out of
take it.
control.
Because if I
Look,
come,
Chairman,
if I
can
come
we
and
send
talk
outside to
shit
take a
about
break
her,
for 5
y'all
minutes?
gonna have a
Mr.
problem.
Chairman, people who are ghetto and ignorant in public, they're probably even worse in private. If you come out talking like her in public, something ain't right with you.
Welcome back to the Filthy Wall, where we take out the political trash and hang it up for everyone to see. Like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, because today we're swinging the spotlight on a certain loudmouth in Congress who has gotten way too comfortable in her safe little seat. Yeah, Jasmine Crockett, pull up a chair because we're opening that closet, and honey, the skeletons are falling out faster than you can say Beyonce lyrics.
Are you a no-show boss from hell who terrorizes staffers?
Oh my goodness. Listen, I know that I have arrived, honey. That is the way that I see this. Because as Beyonce says, if they're not talking about you, then obviously you must not be doing anything.
Let's get this straight. If people aren't talking about you, you're not doing anything. Well, guess what? We're talking about you, Jasmine. But this ain't the kind of talk you should be proud of. You've got this pattern, no, this systemic habit of running your mouth instead of doing your job. And every time someone calls you out, you try to play the victim card like it's the winning hand. You've been caught giving interviews while calling reporters honey. Imagine for 1 second if anyone called you honey. Oh, you'd be screaming sexism, racism, and every ism you can find in the dictionary. But when you do it, somehow it's fine.
We're talking about her, but she's confusing fame with infamy and popularity with notoriety. These criticisms are coming from, quote, inside the House. They're from her own staff, and not a random comment here or there. It seems like a systemic pattern. And to disprove that she doesn't show up at the office, she gave that interview calling the reporter honey. Imagine if we called her honey. Racism, sexism, ageism. To disprove, Charlie, that she does show up to work, she gave the interview from her apartment. And instead of quoting like great world leaders in history, or even the Bible for that matter, she quotes Beyonce and lyrics. So I also wanted to make this point in the context of the current news on gerrymandering in the state of Texas. Last night I interviewed Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick. I interviewed Attorney General Ken Paxton when I sat in for Sean Hannity. They told us how this is legal, way overdue. Jasmine Crockett is in a congressional district that votes about 76% Democrat. As we all sit here and scratch our heads, who exactly voted for Kamala Harris? 76% of Jasmine Crockett's congressional district is the answer. And her predecessor was a woman named Eddie Bernice Johnson, who sat in that seat for 30 years. So Jasmine Crockett is safe in what she says because she's in a safe seat. And this is exactly the point that everybody is making about gerrymandering. There's no incentive to pass legislation, to talk to anybody on the other side of the aisle, and frankly, to be nice, kind, gentle, and humble vis-a-vis your own staff.
Right.
It's always someone like this who's screaming feminism and equal rights, and we are women, who hear us roar, who treat their own female staffers like the help.
Hypocrisy much? Instead of quoting great leaders or the Bible, you're quoting Beyonce like we're at karaoke night. You want respect? Start acting like you represent something bigger than a pop lyric. You've been handed a seat in Congress, not a backstage pass to the MTV Awards. Now let's talk about your so-called district, 76% Democrat. Safe as a padded room, no real competition, which means you don't have to work with anyone across the aisle, no incentive to pass meaningful legislation, no reason to actually serve the people. All you have to do is keep screaming the same talking points to the same echo chamber, and you're good for another term. That's not leadership, that's political squatting. And the way you treat your own staff? Oh, you preach feminism and equal rights for women, but behind closed doors you treat your female staffers like they're your personal help. That's not empowerment, that's exploitation. If any male politician acted the way you do toward their team, you'd be the first one on cable news calling for their resignation. But I guess when you're the one swinging the hammer, it's not bullying.
But when people start talking about you, that's when you know that you are obviously getting under their skin. So I am not gonna give up. There's a song that I like to quote every once in a while. It says, "Your hate is my motivation." So keep hating. All it does is motivate me to continue to do what I do, which is to be loud and proud on behalf of the American people.
You see somebody just so mean-spirited, and they're always bashing other people and trying to bash people's character. And they are normally people with poor character.
Right, you're not a leader, Jasmine. You're a performer. You're not there to make real change. You're there to get on TV, deliver some alliterative soundbite, and bask in the applause of Twitter activists. You give speeches that someone else writes, read from a teleprompter, and then pretend like you're the next great political mind. Hate is your motivator. Attention is your fuel. And guess what? It shows. This isn't just a personality flaw, it's a problem for the country. Out of 435 representatives in the United States Congress, this is what we're sending to Washington. We can do better. In fact, we have to do better. Compare what you've accomplished in Congress to what Trump did in his first 200 days. Peace deals, economic wins, actual policy work. Meanwhile, you're out here chasing clout and stirring division, and when they finally redraw your district lines, and yes, even if you want to call it racist gerrymandering, I hope it sends you packing. Because the truth is, Jasmine, you'd be better suited for reality TV than public service. So here's the bottom line. Jasmine Crockett is a bully. And if you like her behavior, you're just as bad as she is. People of her stature, race, and gender should be embarrassed by how she acts and demand better. This is not the representation you deserve. It's a circus act, and every clown show eventually gets canceled. This has been The Filthy Wall. Like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, because the next time one of these politicians thinks they're untouchable, we'll be right here, hammer in hand, ready to nail their nonsense to the wall.